We are back after that show match, who went clearly in favor of Todd right there. And beside the castles, we also have Karoo joining us with a chair. Come on, make it smooth. Make it smooth. No one saw that? There we go. So, we're going to have a lot of insight about HOTS and everything to do with the game we just saw. And first off, we of course start with showing you the new cinematic trailer of Heart of the Swarm. I think everyone here already seen it. And
yeah,
all of us drooled over
No.
it several times. No, you probably haven't watched it at all. So, for everyone who hasn't seen it, here it is. And for everyone who has seen it, you will watch it anyway, as that's what we do.
Okay, well, everyone around me is just starting to giggle.
It's the excitement.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
the
that we wanted
excitement.
to talk about the trailer. I actually saw it yesterday, and I think it's pretty awesome. The only thing that I can't figure out is what is wrong with that Viking landing in front of the Ultra list?
I thought we had an
was the
agreement to
wrong
not talk
question.
about the Viking color. I thought we had an agreement.
I didn't sign anything here.
It's a gentleman's agreement.
It was
I'm not a gentleman. You should know that by now. Will.
This is a cinematic of a planet being defended by like someone who's just purchased the original Wings of Liberty, and he like has a Viking. Look, he's trying to
There it
micro his
goes.
tanks.
Okay.
This guy, what league
Here we
is
go.
he in?
Here we go. Here we go.
And the Vikings like, I got this. Oh, I got this.
And
boom.
I
But
feel like
you know what?
We
In
were
game, if
betrayed.
my Vikings would land like that, I would use them either way. I would use them all the time and let them land just because they look like that.
It was
I
very
feel like the Viking
Transformers.
comments are as dead as that Viking at this point. Like that Viking
I want to know
topic.
Oh,
what
is
Fred
that
is
the
going to
first
go.
one? Shall we
Cole,
count
what are your
now?
thoughts about the Viking?
I just
idea.
yeah, we can count
Stupid
puns.
idea.
That's fine.
Okay, guys, I gave you this awesome opening cue. Now it's your turn.
That wasn't an awesome opening. We've agreed no Viking. Oh. Hi guys, how you doing?
Production, I love you.
Welcome
That
to
was
what I
awesome.
like to call the crowded couch.
The crowd couch.
No, this is the light on the set which makes it look crowded. Actually, we're really far away from each other. I mean, I'm sitting here. The smallest person here has the most space. Very over. That looks awesome.
It's not really
So,
fairly
let's
distributed.
talk about the game.
You know,
So
this
guys all
picture
been
actually
casting.
is the perfect analogy for esports. We have all the nerds right here on the only girl sits far away from the rest of them.
So what you just said is I'm not a nerd. I feel insulted for some reason, but it's okay.
I feel like this
shall
is
forgive
a
you.
Why do
Christmas
you feel
card.
insulted?
It's
I
a
just
Christmas
insulted
card
all of
picture.
us.
Why?
We're the nerds.
Yeah, but I want to be
You're
in the
a
nerd
nerd too.
corner. I'm kind of playing games too.
Well, you can
No.
sit on my lap if you want, but no, it
Oh
would
wow.
be weird.
Thanks.
Does anyone else feel like this is like a Christmas card photo? Like if you look at this, that's why. I look at it. We have like a steampunk esports Christmas card.
That actually is lovely. Why is Christmas already over? We shall save that for next year, basically. So why don't we talk about the games, guys? I wanna
Let's talk a little bit
them.
about Heart of the Swarm. Let's take care of it here. You know, I will say, I was really thrilled to see the fact that in game number 1, Saren's had that new strategy. No one's ever done anything like that, ever. It was a world first that we saw.
Saren's himself didn't even try it beforehand.
Well, yeah, it's a new strategy, and clearly Todd was underprepared for it. Right. Can we go back to the broad camera shot because I just see my silly face? Thank you so much. You know,
Fading you in.
you know, okay, so listen to me. It was a new thing. We've never seen it before.
Closing your eyes
if I
won't
close
help
my
you.
eyes, I'm just going to be able to process this better.
I love IronSquid. I just want to point
This is the greatest.
right there.
This is the greatest tournament ever. You know, in terms of technology, there's a lot of transitions, you know, like the wipe where it goes from like left to right, or they just like fade in. And some guy was like, you know what we need? Yeah, you see, that's a great sort of Texan sunshine seed flower or whatever. Yeah, I mean, are there some other neat transitions up in production? Because I really like the crumple effect, because there was someone who was making that production piece who's like, I have to code this in.
That's pretty good. That one.
It's like, well, that was the Stargate transition. Let's unlock over here.
Someone's getting
No.
really creative right now.
I know that was amazing. That's like the doors in Reckoning, the way they like
So,
unfold
right, you
and
wanted
open.
to talk about HOTS.
I mean, I did. I did at one point. I want to talk about that. I just like the fact that it was this new strategy. Todd was clearly underprepared. His army supply was like 5 at one point, but he was able to pull a comeback by just having really good, general, strong game sense. Because it's so easy for a unit to break the game. For instance, the Warhound used to be in Heart of the Swarm, and all you had to do is build the Warhound. But now what we're seeing is units have really unique, cool purposes. The Widow Mine looks really cool in small numbers. Players are experimenting with building mass Widow Mines. Unclear what that's going to be. So in my eyes, I'm excited. And if we could get a camera transition back to my face and then back, it's the most boring thing that's ever happened in the history of transitions. Hold on, I'm not looking at the camera yet. Let's split my face upside down back to me again.
That made a lot of sense. I just really like how we.
I'll take it.
You're not gonna get over that transition stuff, are you?
It's pretty good.
Stop that production, duh.
No, continue. It's
Let's do it
fine.
again. I actually just wanted to.
Give me this mic. Listen. You don't get the mic, Wolf.
Oh wow.
Hey, this is like
I
And-
actually want Wolf to talk now about this Warhound thing.
Yes.
what?
I want.
He doesn't have a microphone.
I can't speak.
Please speak to us because
I
Sean
actually-
just said you only have to build Warhounds.
Well, I
think
want
you
to
beg
go
differ.
around the room, or the couch in this case, or the sofa and the couch, whatever you want to call it. I want to get everyone's favorite new Heart of the Swarm unit or ability. Go.
Well, it's not my favorite. It's my most hated because I don't like.
Well, that's like the opposite of what I asked for.
No, I mean, if I would play if I would play the race, it would be my favorite.
Okay, go.
So it's the boost on the Medivacs.
Okay. Well, I like the Warhound the best, but they killed it. So
Aw.
So you can't pick that one.
it's
either
okay.
because it doesn't
I'm the
exist anymore.
asker, so I can move on to Day 9 over here and give him the mic.
Don't give him the microphone.
gonna give
Definitely the emergency thrusters. I think it's like super sweet because it gives a lot of room for cool micro. We saw Sarens do that in the second match where all his units got trapped and he just like, got the guy out with the fart noise and everything. It was really sweet. But it Medevac harass for a long time has been like you can do it for like 2 minutes and then it just is not quite a thing anymore. Like only at very specific points you see the medevac harass pop in. And it's really cool to make it a lot more continuous of a thing where at all points in the game you have to be aware of it and you can sort of skill your way back into a game if you're behind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ce n'est pas problème. Take this mic, Wolf.
I'll take it now. Ask Caleris. It's your turn.
Thank you. I really like the time warp ability on the mothership car now. I actually like it to the point where I think it might be too strong.
Because of the synergy with the
There's
force fields.
so much synergy, especially in PvT, actually. I have been playing quite a lot of HOTS, actually, recently, having found quite a bit of time to play. And Protoss, to me, feels really, really strong with things like Time Warp. So it's so strong that it might be too strong.
I actually really liked the Viper, especially Abduct. I think we casted the show match, the finals in Heart of the Swarm, which was pretty cool because suddenly you had those 3 Medivacs just trying to get into the Zerg player space. You had like 5 Vipers around it, just pulled them back the entire time. That looked so darn silly. It was beautiful, and Vipers in general are pretty cool and definitely enrichment to the game.
Fred speaks.
Fred.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
Who are you, Fred?
So I'm Fred. I'm Kaoru in IronSquid. I'm the IronSquid manager for tournament, and I'm quite tired because of those guys. And for me, it's Hydra Speed, which my favorite change because I was loving Hydra on StarCraft 1, and without speed I look like so useless without creep. So that's why I prefer this change. And on my player are Zerg, so I like to find a way to win on Heart of the Swarm. So that's why.
Not against Protoss, man.
Yeah.
So hard.
Hydra's still a little bit tough to use against Colossi, it seems like, based on my experience casting Heart of the Swarm, but
They get killed.
still really useful overall. And I think that Hydra's speed and Heart of the Swarm might be pushing forward like some more Hydra use and Wings of Liberty here at the very end. Maybe. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. Like I just thought maybe like everyone looked at me weird. I was like, well, what do you guys think about that? Thanks for making me feel really weird.
It
Like
looked
everybody
weird as
still doesn't
well,
answer?
And
I'm
it
like,
sounded weird too.
I don't
so
know.
It's okay.
Weird time with Wolf with a bunch of guys on a couch.
You know. Normally, at
I
the
actually don't
end-
want to talk anymore because this is just too good. Making you squirm in front of the
Since
camera
you
is
guys don't
brilliant.
have the in-ear, I'm gonna do something which people. Are you crying? Which people are normally not doing. Normally, you don't say if the production tells you anything. But this one was just too good. After you asked the question, the production guy said into my ear, "Maybe we should throw it into a commercial break." So I just thought I have to share that one. I'm not sure what he wanted to tell us with that, but I think he doesn't want
So
us to talk
not
anymore.
even production likes Wolf questions.
I'm gonna make a show called Weird Time with Wolf with guys on a couch, and we're gonna do this.
Well, I really enjoyed this, so thanks for.
Can we get a
for
shot of
showing
Clarice,
it.
please?
Yes,
Please.
please. He's kind of crying. It's really cute. But before that, we're going to go into a quick interview, or maybe not so quick. We have Rice once more helping us out with the translation. And of course, we have Don Regu, who just qualified in an insane ZVZ against Nestea. So first of all, oh God, my throat. What's happening now? It's all part of the show. Don't worry, guys. Actually, Life was supposed to sit here, but we don't need his insights, so we just talk with you, Don Regu. That match has just been an insane back and forth, and it really looked super, super close in mostly the last game. What do you think turned the tide? Where did you get the feeling that you have it?
재덕이 형이랑 게임할 때 2대2였을 때 끝판에서 계속 왔다 갔다 했잖아. 그냥 서고 했는데 너가 언제 지금 내가 이겼다고 생각했어?
그러니까 제가 하이브 태클을 타고 무리군지 뽑을 준비를 하는데 재덕이 형이 바퀴 히드라로 한번 왔었어요, 제 진영으로. 그거 딱 맞고 나는 순간 내가 많이 유리한 것 같다라고 그때부터 계속 생각하고 있었어요. 네.
Actually, when Donghyun was taking to his hive, Nestea he tried to push once with his Hydra and roaches, and when he defended it, he was like, okay, now I should have a big advantage, and from there on, he was pretty confident that he's gonna win.
All right. So if we look at the start of each of those games, it very much looked. I'm not sure if it was in all 5 games, but it looked like you guys have been all going for the 10 pool, or at least very early pools. Is that the new thing in ZVC, as it used to not quite be like that?
풀을 지금 요즘 ZVZ에서 풀을 빨리 치는 거 더 좋은 것 같아. 그냥
좋다기보단 그냥 다전제에서 섞어야 되는 것 중에 전략 중에 하나인데 그냥 이번에 서로 그냥 계속 고집을 부린 것 같아요. 네. 고집 부려서 그냥 계속 그런 걸 계속 했던 것 같아요.
All right, and we now have Life joining us, our second finalist here, who happily comes from a quick break, as he deserved, since he has to get ready for the finals. But before I said, we have the 3rd game coming up anytime soon. The 3rd game, the 3rd place decider. Oh yeah, right, you didn't.
Okay,
I was confused by the interruption.
About the early pool thing, he said it's like one of the builds that you normally use. It's not like a thing that you do, right? But he thinks that it just went that way, like that each of them did the early pool, but like it wasn't intentional, like it's nothing to do with the.
It just happened.
It just happened, yeah.
All right, that's good to know. So let's talk a bit about the game we're about to see. It's going to be Nestea against Marine King. It's one of the matches a lot of people would have wanted to see and now get to see, as there has been some rivalry going on. When everyone is talking about rivalry, and probably none of them had a word with the players itself to have a word with that, do you guys know anything about a rivalry going on between them? Do you ever, are they friendly with each other, or are they giving each other evil looks?
종훈이랑 재덕이 형 라이벌 뭐 그런 거 있어?
아니요, 처음 듣는데.
Actually, we heard the first time about the rivalry between both of them.
Really, because all the casters keep mentioning it, like, it's going to be the game because they have this thing going on. Okay. So I was just wondering if there is actually a thing, or if just someone decided to make that up. So good to know there's apparently no rivalry going on at all.
I mean, Marine King is so much younger than Nestea, almost 11 years younger than him.
I was like,
so that's
Nestea is 30 or
30.
right?
he returned 31 this year.
Oh, okay.
So he's 30 right now, yeah. And Korean Edge is even older. I mean, he's born 82. Marine King is born 93. So, I mean, rivalry. I mean, they never met that often. I mean, 네스티랑 종훈이 언제 만났지? 그 GSL에서 한번 결승에서
결승
한 번 만나고 아닌가? 두 번 만나.
모르겠어요. 바로 많이 만나진 않았던 것 같은데.
They didn't meet that often. They met in the GSF finals where Nestea won, and besides that, actually no one of them can remember any.
Oh, that's very good to know. I'm learning things. That's great. So, who would you pick as the favorite there? As that is the standard question to ask.
지금 하는 거요? 제대호 형이 이겼으면 좋겠어요. 아니 그냥 이겼으면 좋겠어요.
전 솔직히 상관없는데 누가 이기는지.
Okay. Dongul said he wishes that Nestea's gonna win, and live he doesn't care.
Oh, what? That's also an answer, nothing for us. So I guess you're gonna care about the finals itself. I just gonna assume you want to win. But how are the odds? Do you feel confident going up against Donrigu? Have you practiced specifically in CVC since you knew that there are gonna be 3 Thurgs in this tournament?
솔직히 조금 힘들 것 같고.
아까 무대 인터뷰랑 다른 거예요.
힘들 것 같아.
He thinks it's gonna be tough.
That's all he said. Like you guys just laughing your
Suo
butts
said
off.
like you should be honest, but he says no, it's gonna be just tough against him.
Okay, what would be Donrigu's answer?
저도 되게 힘들 것 같아. 저도 똑같이 힘들 것 같아.
He thinks it's gonna be the same for him. It's gonna be tough for him as well.
Oh Jesus Christ! Are you guys doing that on purpose? Like, do you have some kind of practice going on in mannered answers? Like, there's hardly any taunting. Why? Why don't you guys blame each other at least? Try it for the
맨날
interview.
좋은지 그냥 대답할 때 왜 맨날 좋은지 그냥 사실대로 그냥 진심으로 말하라고 그냥.
안 좋은데요.
전 사실대로 말하면 뭐 제가 막 자신감 있어 하면 좀 열받아서 좀 불타올라서 막 경기를 올라갈까 봐 최대한 잠잠하게 이렇게 만들어 놓는 거예요.
He thinks Dongul says it's like better to keep it calm and like man up because otherwise if
You're gonna lose it.
if he's gonna say that he's gonna win for sure and it's gonna be easy and stuff, then life might get angry and pissed and turn to Super Saiyan or something.
It's just good. I don't know what this look means, but well, I guess I'm running out of weird and awkward questions to ask you guys, so I'm just gonna let you get back to your booth, practicing a little bit. Of course, good luck for both of you for the finals. It's gonna be amazing to watch, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we're gonna throw it over to the casters with the third game decider, place decider, whatever.
It's time to find out who is getting third place here at the IronSquid Grand Finals.
Exactly.
Beautiful intro. That is my opening statement. That is what we are about to find out. I am Wolf. With me is Caldor.
And my favorite unit in Heart of the Swamp is definitely the Viper. Okay, let's get back to business. We have Marine King versus Nestea before Wolf starts to explode next to me and Calaris is not having another laughing fit.
Calaris is probably downstairs crying right now. It's all your fault.
He actually cried.
Yeah, he actually cried. You could see like long tears as if he had lost a longtime lover or something like this. Like I was afraid he was going to start sobbing as well, but...
Well, we have a lot of fun here at IronSquid, but of course it's also about the StarCraft 2 matches, and this is one of the games that a lot of people have been anticipating. These two guys met at the second season of GSL, and back in the days, we had like a 7-game series that went to the last match. It was pretty incredible. So right now we have them again here at IronSquid fighting for third place.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. You know, it was discussed in the interview a little bit, some sort of rivalry, whether it exists or not. In this case, I feel like it's just history. There's history here as one of the most amazing finals, my favorite finals of all time, Marine King versus Nestea. We have this awesome opportunity to cast this. It's a third-place match, a pretty big difference in prize money. I believe 2,000 euros in difference. That's a lot of money on the line here.
Grand Lagoon is going to be our first map, and back in the days, we had Nestea win the entire tournament. He won the season with a 4-3 against Marine King. So right now, we have the first game going to start really, really soon. And so far, I feel like Nestea was so close to actually advancing to the finals. He brought it into the last game against DRG.
Yeah, we saw the game.
Really close.
You and I were watching the entire series from the audience, except for the final game, which we watched here, of course, on our little steampunk couch over there where weird things happen. But in the final game, the upgrades made such a big difference. You know, with the +3 Carapace coming out on those Broodlords with no more upgrades for the Infested Terrans anymore on Wings of Liberty, obviously the Infested Terrans did not do as much damage as Nestea wanted them to do.
And we had a really, really strong gameplay by both of them, but in the end, DRG took it, so now Nestea suddenly finds himself in this game against Marine King. And if you just think about the last match that Marine King played against Zerg, which was, of course, a semi-final against Live, we had Marine King with a very, very strong game on Daybreak, sick micro.
Yeah.
But in the other games, Live just demolished him. I mean, Live is looking so strong, especially in the ZVT. So now Marine King has another Zerg opponent, more experienced, a lot older, and I feel a lot... he's a lot more cunning.
Yeah.
But still, I feel that this is an opponent where Marine King has a lot better chances than when he was facing Live.
Exactly. This is I don't want to say that Life is on an entirely different level, but it's like he's just more dominant right now. He's in his prime, whereas Nestea is coming back into his prime, I feel like, but he's not quite on top of his game.
And how cool is that, by the way? I mean, that he's really coming back.
He is really coming back.
When he dropped out of Code A, I was actually thinking, well, maybe we'll see him as a coach.
Yeah, maybe he will become a coach,
playing.
maybe he'll retire.
Yep.
But he has shown that no matter how tired he is, he will keep going.
And he's not only coming back into Code A, so he went all the way back into Code A, as we now have him here at IronSquid, playing the bronze match. He wanted to go to the final, but in the end, just him defeating players like Parting on his way. Because, guys, always remember, this is only the finals. This is the offline finals. We have 4 games in total, but there was an entire season played online already. And if you missed that, then definitely go to ironsquid.tv and check out those VODs. There were amazing, amazing games. And some really surprising matches as well. So definitely check out the VODs. They're so worth it. But now we're focusing on the bronze match. We want to find out who takes 3rd place and who's going to take 4th here. We have another ZVT. We have Marine King up against Nestea. And the players are ready. The game is loading.
I'm ready. And the map, of course, as mentioned before, is Grand Lagoon for game number 1 in this series to find out who is going to take that 3rd place, that bronze medal, and who's going to go home 4th, last of the last here.
I actually don't even know who the French audience is cheering for the most. Nestea is such a huge fan favorite here. It's really difficult to describe, but if you are sitting in the theater and you have these massive chants. I actually think that on Reddit there was a YouTube video that was linked earlier. If you haven't seen it just yet, check it out. I think that was when Nestea was entering the stage. It was really, really impressive. But Marine King, he appeared in the audience. I mean, he sat down at the front and suddenly people from everywhere were rushing in and were just trying to get autographs and trying to get pictures. So both of them, like, being huge fan favorites here in France, and I'm not quite sure which one is the favorite for the French audience.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. They're both quite heavily favored by the fans. Marine King is a Terran player, first of all, in this tournament, and is one who stands out alone as the Terran. So that's really something to consider as well. Really, really excited going into the series. Just makes me think back to those finals so long ago. Marine King back then using the tag Boxer and being called by his fans at that time Foxer. Decided to call himself Marine King because of his splitting that everyone talked about.
And that splitting, we've seen it in action
Yeah,
today.
we have, man. Marine King almost clawed his way back into the finals with some pretty clutch play, of course, earlier against Life.
Big problem just for him that the 4th map was Abyssal City. This is always a map where you're very uncomfortable as a Terran player against the Zerg. And for Marine King, there was just no chance of getting back. He fought hard, but just Life was too good. And well, here we go. Top right of the map, we have our player in blue. And... well, actually, right now we don't.
I'm like, that was embarrassing. Who messed up?
I actually think we had the audio stream there. Whatever it was, back to the top right on Grand Lagoon. We have in blue our Terran player. It is Marine King Prime.
Yeah, indeed. This is such a cool match, man. Nestea down here at the bottom left, just a legend. This guy is a hero. He is somebody that people look up to, an older pro gamer. And, you know, just thinking back to that old series, I remember being at home. I stayed up all night to watch it because back then I lived in America still. And I was actually just eating dinner watching the finals. And I never felt like I did when I watched the spawning locations, Marine King and Nestea, close positions on Metalopolis, the old Metalopolis where you could have close positions. This was during the time that Marine King was really showcasing that 2 racks with the SCV pull, and at close spawns it was so hard to defend. And I won't even spoil what really happened in that game. You guys can go back and watch it, but definitely an epic moment in esports, and we're going to repeat it a little bit here.
Well, so right now what we're going to have is at the bottom left, Nestea just opening with the standard build, going into a 15 hatch. Actually, yeah, going into the 15 hatch. And, well, at this point, I'm really interested to see what Marine King is going to do. What really worked against him in the first series that he played was that he was very, very predictable to his opponent.
Yeah, and Nestea, you know, Nestea is a player who right now is absolutely a mind gamer. He's someone who's using his strategy over his mechanics a lot of the time. He's choosing crazy build orders oftentimes that really go against his opponent's style. For example, going back to that slow Ling all-in we saw versus Protoss, it's actually in the intro that we saw this morning. Really awesome game. And Nestea just knows, okay, MC likes to move out. He likes to pull out his early Zealot and Stalker, so I can catch him off guard with a slow Ling all-in. That type of play is what keeps Nestea in the game right now.
Yeah. He's just a very, very smart player. He's a player that has been playing in esports, not only StarCraft 2, but also like his history in general. He has so much experience that he knows how to deal with these situations. And in a tournament like this, where you have the added pressure from the audience, that is worth so much. Marine King, on the other hand, also one of those Korean players that has traveled a lot, that has a lot of experience in overseas tournaments. So he's definitely in a position where he can make sure that he gets the better hand if he gets a good engagement.
Yeah. And in the case of this game, by the way, we have Nestea with an early metabolic boost, and with this metabolic boost, he will be able to deny that he might have faced. But in this case, obviously, Marine King went for a CC first. Now, Nestea has scouted everything with his Overlord. This link speed gives him a lot of flexibility, though, and this is always the case as Zerg player goes for early speed. You can do an attack. You can do an attack with Lings and Roaches, Lings and Banelings. There's several different ways. You can also do a big attack just to force your opponent to lift. We've seen that a lot as well.
I find it really cool and interesting to see how different this is from the opening that we had in our first turn versus Zerg. Life was really testing the waters with his 10-fold when he was going up against Marine King, and was in a position where he said, okay, I'm just going to see what's going to happen here. Whereas Nestea didn't really do that. So he opened up with a normal build, but he's also another player who tries to go for the aggression. Look at what we have on the production tab here. Marine King Prime, known to be very, very, very greedy, faced a 10-pull against Life in the first game, Life testing the waters. Now he's facing Nestea. And ST not going for a 10-pull, but he's going for a Baneling bust, building a massive amount of Zerglings at this point. Speed nearly about to kick in. Marine King is notorious for not scouting, and he will be completely caught off guard by this.
This is old school what we're seeing from Nestea. This is very rarely seen in this matchup anymore, exactly like this, the way Nestea's doing it right now with speed and Banelings a little bit late, slightly delayed. And this really goes against, like you said, Marine King not scouting here, not having any information about what's going on. Doesn't even know there's no third base. He also went for a very, very fast third command center, so he doesn't have a lot of production. He's trying to power up his barracks right now. He did get the second barracks before the CC, so he's not playing this as greedy as possible. But even so, with only one bunker, this might not be possible to defend.
It's actually going to be really, really difficult to defend this. And if you think about the wall that we have in the main, there's only one supply depot. Yes, those two barracks are, of course, awesome. But Marine King needs to know what's going on. He needs to have additional bunkers, and he needs to just increase his wall. He needs to have a double wall at the choke point if he wants to hold off here.
Nestea, man, he's making so many Banelings. Right now, he has 9 already. He can make more. Looks like he's just going to leave it at 9, and that is so many Banelings to have at this time in the game. His Zergling count is 39. Here we go. There's only one bunker, and what can Marine King really hope to do here?
I am not quite sure, Wolf, but here come those Banelings, and they are going straight for the bunker. At least they're trying to. Moving in, the bunker is nearly gone. The SCVs are already dead, and here go the Banelings up the choke into the supply depot that I mentioned earlier. The base is wide open. He moves in. We have 2 Hellions building, but just look at how many Zerglings there are. Nestea has caught Marine King with his pants down once again. First game in the series. A lot of aggression by the Zerg player, and Marine King at this point is going to roll over and die.
He certainly is. Right now, he's just trying to figure out what whether he wants to type his GG in capital letters or lowercase letters or in Hangul, because he's just got no chance of defending. He's coming to terms with his defeat right now. Nice micro, but there's way too much here.
He has 11 SCVs, 10 SCVs, 9, 8, 7, 4, and this is it. GG! The SCV count was like a countdown here.
Yeah, it certainly was. Getting really close. Like you said in our previous series in Marine King, he really likes to go all the way until the last SCV before typing GG.
Yeah, Marine King, I don't know. I really feel that he has to change his style a little bit. He's simply
he's
too
predictable at this
predictable.
point.
Yeah.
And Nestea, look at that Nestea face. Looks like he just wants to get this over with. He wants to take him out. You know, we saw a very aggressive game on a map where normally Zerg plays late game because it's easier for the Zerg to take a third base than it is for the Terran.
The thing is, it's a best of 5 series, so I'm just surprised that Marine King would really go for this very predictable build. And he has to know that Nestea watched all the games that he played against live. So I'm not surprised that Nestea goes for a very aggressive strategy, and Marine King just falls victim to it.
Yeah.
I would have expected Marine King to play it a bit more safe just with the first game, just trying to show Nestea, listen up, I'm not gonna go for all the things that I'm like known for. I'm gonna scout a little bit more than I used to. I'm gonna play it a bit more safe. I'm gonna be really prepared here. And then later on, he can throw it in again.
I would like to see Marine King go for a 2x proxy. That's something he's actually really good at. It's a little bit predictable from him in some ways, but after showing the same type of game over and over again, it would be a little bit refreshing to see him use an aggressive strategy like that. And I feel like Game 2 is the only game he can really do that at. If he loses this game again in a macro game, if he does it in Game 3, it's too much of a gamble at that point.
Yeah, but here comes the map into play. So I guess you haven't seen the map yet.
It's
because
Antigua
it's
Shipyard.
Antigua Shipyard. So a 2 barracks play on Antigua
Not
Shipyard
the best
is,
choice.
Yeah,
Better for Ohana or something like that.
exactly. Not really what you want. So in Antigua, I feel with the micro and the macro that he has, he can really pull off. This is one of the best maps that you have in a Terran versus Zerg as a Terran player. Zerg player is getting a lot more confident on this map and trying to figure out how to work here. But still, the map lends itself to the Terran player having a little bit of a better position in the mid and late game. So if you actually run with this advantage that you have, you can dominate the game. And Marine King is one of those players that has all the tools to do so. But first of all, he has to survive the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
And I feel that's like the timing where he's really weak at this point, because he always plays so greedy.
He's so greedy. You know, he's skipping the scouts. He's going for the fast third CC. He's not even sending an SCV scout at all. Not only just skipping the scans, but not knowing whether your opponent has a third base or not is just asking for trouble.
In this game, he scouted a little bit more than he did in the others. He at least sent 1 unit out, but still he needs a bit more. And also, you could really see that he had no forward unit. He wasn't trying to poke out and maybe have a quick look at one of the Zonaga watchtowers, just at the ramp, having something of a warning system that when he sees it coming. Just think about he has a unit at the ramp, at the bottom of the ramp. He sees the Zerglings run in, and then he decides, well, okay, I can build another barracks, another bunker, another supply depot at the top of the ramp. I lift my command center, put the SCVs in the main base. I will still lose a lot. I will lose mining time, I will lose a lot of units. And yes, maybe I still die, because Nestea is trying to push through with the Banelings. But he has a better chance fighting this, and maybe even saving himself the first base, being contained for a little while, but then pushing out. There are a lot of options what he could do, but he's just cutting so many corners that he's always dying to this. And first of all, I'm interested in what Marine King is going to do now. Is he going to adapt again as he did when he was playing live? But what is Nestea's plan? I could actually see him going for an aggressive strategy again.
Yeah. But before we see that, we'll go to a commercial break before going into Antigua Shipyard. So you guys will have to wait maybe 3 to 5 minutes. So contain your excitement. You know, get on Team Liquid, get on Reddit, get on forums, wherever you go, and post about this. Get people watching. See you guys soon.